All right. You know what, Tyler? I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. And that don't mean shit to you from a little pissant like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, you're fucking, you're filet mignon, man. I'm fish sticks compared to you, man. So my compliments don't mean shit. But just as a movie person, as a fan, I'm like, bruh, I'm like, okay, Tyler, I knew you had a good movie in you, man. Mr. Perry, I am shocked. All right, well, if you've been following my channel, you know that I haven't had any nice things really to say about Tyler Perry's movies, especially in the last 5 years. And I feel bad about that because if you watch any Tyler Perry review that I've done, the first thing I always do is compliment Tyler Perry because I respect the shit out of that man. You hear me? He is one of my heroes. He is goals as far as business and how you come from nothing and to have your own studio. Like, this brother's large, all right? So it pains me to talk about his movies the way that I do, but I have to call things how I see it, man. The man's movies just hasn't been that good, and I don't know if it's because he's just that out of touch with what people want to see. You know, he marches to the beat of his own drum. He doesn't care about the naysayers, and in a way you shouldn't, but if you're making movies for people to like, you might want to listen to them. So if somebody says, bruh, stop putting these bad wigs in movies, you should probably take heed to that. If they say like, hey man, like what's up with these ridiculous stories that just go out there? Maybe take a listen to it, you know. So here it is, he has now a period piece, a war film. I said, damn, so so this year alone, you had Mea Culpa, you got Divorce in the Black, and then you got this movie, 6888, which is a war film on Netflix. I said, oh boy. I said, man, we go from Divorce in the Black, Mea Culpa, and now you're doing a war film. Oh, how's this gonna go? When this movie went off, my reaction was, I let out a sigh of relief because I said, man, I don't have to shit on another Tyler Perry movie. I am happy to say that I don't have to shit on another Tyler Perry movie. This movie was, okay, definitely not perfect. Definitely not one of those that's going to be an Oscar contender or even the best of the year. But damn it, at least he made a good movie. At least he made a decent movie, okay? And period pieces, I'm assuming are hard to make because you have to stay consistent with the periods. And for a man that can't even get a wig right in the movie, you're going to make a movie about World War II? But to me, I think he pulled it off. I think he did a pretty good job here. Now, I do have some problems with this film. I definitely do. It's a Tyler Perry movie, of course, but I feel like with what he was trying to do, I think for the most part, he did it right. So this movie is about this, the lead character, her name is Lena. She's just a regular down-home Southern girl, has a boyfriend who's going off to war, and he goes to war, gets killed, and she's heartbroken, and she's just angry about her man dying in the war, so now she wants to get back at Hitler. That does kind of sound ridiculous as I'm saying that, but she wants to get back at Hitler, and that's her motivation to go fight, and she enlists in the army. But only problem is she gets enlisted with these other black women, and they put them on this one unit, and they're not going to fight, they're not going to have any missions, they're just in the army. But then they end up given a mission, which is to get these letters out to the soldiers and their families, because there's like 17 million letters that just kind of got pushed to the side by the U.S. military and just said, fuck it, this is too complicated to get through. But you know what? Yeah, let's give it to these black girls who ain't got shit else to do. Let's give it to them that they can sort through that stuff. So a job that's supposed to be small and not really important, they give it to them, and they give them 6 months to do it. So that's where the story really kicks in. So we get introduced to, besides Lena, these other characters, and one of them whose name is Johnny May, and I never forget her because I feel like Tyler Perry wrote her to be like, she's the Medea character of the movie. I feel like Tyler Perry almost wanted to put on a wig and play Medea, but instead he made her a female and called her Johnny May. All right, because it was definitely Medea all the way, personality and all. So she added a lot of comedic chops to the movie. She added a lot of personality to the film. But the lead, I gotta say, I was not feeling. She her acting was sometimes so cringe. So the first act of the movie kind of focuses on her, and I'm like, okay, here we go with the Tyler Perry isms. You know, we got the bad acting. You know, you have the score that sounds like it makes it feel like a BET Plus movie or a Lifetime movie. You know, it feels like at first it felt like a TV movie. You know what I'm saying? Bad acting, cheesy score, and the over dramatic that Tyler Perry always does, where he just puts a little bit of extra frosting on the drama. But when Kerry Washington gets involved, that's where the movie turns around. That's where I said, okay, this shit's getting dope right now. Kerry Washington put her ankle in this performance, and whatever budget this movie had, that's probably where the budget went, because Kerry Washington went all out. No, I'm not going to say it's Oscar worthy, but I will say that she proved that she is a pro compared to the other actors in this movie. Oh, and Dean Norris is in here too. You know, Hank from Breaking Bad. He plays a racist Southern captain who tells them, oh, you black women can't do it. You know, you're black. You can't do anything. You're not as good as white people. You know, and of course you have the, yes, we are. We are as good as anybody can do it. Just give us a chance. You're discriminating because we're black, but we can do the job. It has the typical tropes that you've seen in movies like, let's say, what's the one with Taraji, Hidden Figures? What's the one with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Robert De Niro? Men of Honor. You know, like it has those typical tropes in there. You know, the racist Southern military higher ups that look down on the minorities, and y'all not as good as us, and we have to be in fact better. And Kerry Washington plays the captain who gets these women into shape, gets them on point, and, you know, gets them to, like, we're going to be just as good as everybody else. You know, the tropes that we've seen over and over again, but she does a good job. And I feel this movie does a good job because even though it's shit that I've seen before, I did find myself rooting for these characters, except for the lead. Okay, and I kind of left her alone and went towards Kerry Washington because her character was very infectious, so I wanted to really just cling on to her. I didn't care about this chick no more and her crocodile tears, because half the time this motherfucker couldn't even cry. All right, there's times where she's supposed to be crying and you don't even see no tears. And I think a few times they took some fake tears. They took some water, some drops, and said, "Here, put these on your eyes and make it look like you're crying." You know what I'm saying? I've seen better crying from Hulk Hogan when Andre the Giant ripped his shirt and turned on him. All right, I've seen better crying than Dolomite with Queen Bee. Remember? Oh, Dolomite, I'm so happy. With that being said, this movie does become inspiring because of the history of it. Because I never knew this story. I never knew about the 688. You know what I'm saying? And what they did and how they, you know, in some ways changed the tide of the war because of what they did. It raised the morale and just gave the soldiers hope. And when you got hope, when you have morale, guess what? You start fighting better. And when you start fighting better, you start winning better. You know, kind of like you look good, you feel good. You feel good, you smell good. Oh, I'm fucking that up. You smell good, you look good. You look good, you play good. You play good, you pay good. I'm getting old. Let me just stop while I'm ahead. This movie I thought was dope. There's definitely some pacing issues. There's a little bit a lot of frosting on the dramatic. They try to go for that tearjerker moment where we're supposed to be like inspired, like yes, never give up. Anything's possible. And sometimes the execution is a little over the top where you're like, okay, I know what you was going for there, but come on. But overall, I did dig this movie, especially compared to Tyler Perry's other movies. I did dig this one. I mean, even the CG with the planes and stuff, you know, was not that bad. There was an opening battle scene where, aside for some obvious wire work, it wasn't. Listen, this movie was not bad. It's not the typical Tyler Perry where it's so bad you laugh at it or you roast it. You know, it becomes almost the norm now to roast a Tyler Perry movie. I don't think this one's roastable, to be honest with you. I just don't think it's roastable. I thought this was a decent enough, good enough movie where it's not gonna make anybody's top 10, not even mine. But I said that this movie was not bad. I think it's worth a watch. You know, and especially, you know, learning that history of these women, these sisters, you know, when the credits came on, especially when they showed the real women, when they showed the actual survivors that actually was in the 688, I said, damn, that shit kind of tugged at me a little bit. I said, okay, all right, you know what, Tyler, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. And that don't mean shit to you from a little pissant like me, you know what I'm saying? Like, dog, you're fucking, You're filet mignon, man. I'm fish sticks compared to you, man. So my compliments don't mean shit. But just as a movie person, as a fan, I'm like, bruh, I'm like, okay, Tyler, I knew you had a good movie in you, man. I knew you had it in you, brother. So there you go. 6888. What y'all think about it? Comment fully below. Let me know what you thought. If you like and dig this content, hit that like and subscribe, notification bell in the corner. This is Rashad G signing out. See you in the next video.